10 July 2025, 0928 hours Eastern Daylight Time. It is a bright, sunny, warm day, and I am looking forward to hitting the tennis court today. I will be playing tennis for about 3 to 4 hours today. And after that, my girlfriend and I are going to hook up and take a walk along the beach and just hang out and catch up. She has been away on business for about a month and a half, and she flew in late last night. She was supposed to fly in Saturday, but she caught an earlier flight. She works for Apple, and they were able to jump her to last night. So really excited. She has a little bit of a jet lag, but she's just really excited to hang out with me for today, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with her. I wanted to give a brief update of my Garmin Tactix 8 Applied Ballistics Elite, hereinafter Tactix 8 or Garmin Tactix 8. I took custody of my Garmin Tactix 8 on the 22nd of February 2025, and I took possession of it on the 28th of February 2025. I've been wearing it ever since. It's been off my wrist only 3 times since I've had possession and custody of it. The first was on the 3rd of May for a wedding reception, and then the second was June 6th, and that was for my visit to the United States Coast Guard military base, and I'll get more into that later. And then the third was a dinner event with my mom, girlfriend, and sister on the 20th of June 2025 at Bix Restaurant in San Francisco, California. It's a very fancy restaurant, so I had to dress up. Hence, I took this watch off and I wore one of my Rolex wrist timepieces. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I am a volunteer with the United States Coast Guard as well as with the Sheriff's Office. Whenever I get activated as a volunteer, I work with active military personnel within the United States Coast Guard as well as with other military branches such as, but not limited to, the United States Navy. When I get active as a volunteer with the United States Coast Guard, I get onto the military base and I head to an area called the bunker. The bunker is a highly classified area, very secured. I walk into the main entrance, I climb up several flights of stairs and get to the main entrance of the bunker. But before I can enter, there's a big sign that says, "Place all electronic devices in one of these lockers." And that includes the Garmin Tactix 8. When I talked to the sentry and I told the sentry that is a Garmin Tactix 8 excluded from this list of being put into the locker, the sentry said, no, you have to remove it and all that. And I told him, okay, no problem, but it has a kill switch and blah, blah, blah. It stops GPS, blah, blah, blah. And he said, it doesn't matter. It's not allowed in the bunker. So that has been my experience with the United States Coast Guard as a volunteer when active and entering a certain area called the bunker. My biggest gripe with the Garmin Tactix 8 is that it crashes at least once or twice a week. And for me, coming from the Apple ecosystem, having possession and custody of the Apple Watch Ultra for several years, I can't recall my Apple Watch Ultra ever crashing on me. Having to worry about charging my Apple Watch Ultra every night was really a pain in the butt, but nothing compared to worrying about whether or not my Garmin Tactix 8 crashes in the middle of my workout. I'd rather worry about charging my Apple Watch Ultra every night than having to worry whether or not my Garmin Tactix 8 is working during my physical activity. Now, when I'm playing tennis or doing my HIIT or doing my walks, camping, bicycling, whatever, I check in with my Garmin Tactix 8 to make sure it's running. That's one thing extra I now have to do during my physical activity. And I really didn't have to do that at all with my Apple Watch Ultra. So in retrospect, I'd rather have the worry of charging my Apple Watch Ultra than worrying about whether or not my Garmin Tactix 8 crashed in the middle of my physical workouts. Notwithstanding the Garmin crashing once or twice a week, I still would keep it and would not give it away to a friend, because the Garmin Tactix 8 still provides me with a lot of good data in order for me to stay in shape, increase my fitness on and off the tennis courts.